Hi, Chris. Here's a recap of the first lesson in 2025. We talked about ways to practice this. Okay, so putting an alignment stick on the ground. Not right at your feet, but just slightly in front of your toes, or even just to the side of your foot right here, like I'm drawing on Tiger. Two options, one kind of right at the base of your baby toes, or one just slightly in front of your feet like this. Either of those ideas would work. Okay, so when let me position that line first. So as we watch him swing back, we'd be looking to get that shaft line when our club is at parallel to the ground, just inside and parallel to that line on the ground. Okay, that visual cue, if you find that helpful as a placement position, make sure you have the stick in either of these two places where I have these turquoise lines on the ground, and you'll be ready to go. So it's really just tracking that takeaway to make sure we swing up the shaft line, or we turn our chest without lifting our hands. That's another way to go about it. So we talked about it, Chris, during the lesson, and it might feel like you're dragging your club back or keeping it very low because you want to override the feeling of lifting. That would make a lot of sense. I also did tell you that not only did you stay better on your line with the swing on the right with your longer club, but a longer club can easily look a lot more out of plane or position just because of the sheer length of the club itself. So the fact that this club head is closer to your hands and you're using a longer club is a very good improvement compared to the swing on the left. You're using a shorter club, your club head is further to the right of your hands, you're more out of position. So you told me why you were trying to do this, not intentionally trying to bring it out that far to the right of your hands, but kind of like the concept that was in your head. It's not that I think that concept is entirely wrong, I just think you way over exaggerated it. We do technically want to swing where we have a really nice swing up the shaft of our club or up the plane here. Then we set it at the top. And in order to eliminate the slice or the fade, we do need to slightly drop that club just ever so slightly under that plane in our takeaway as we come down through the ball. However, making our backswing way out of position like this is just not really the best way to go about it. So we do want a slightly shallower plane as we come into the ball. We've really got to clear up this takeaway in order to make that happen the best way possible. So I think there was very good progress had during the lesson. This was a much better swing, a good chest turn, and kind of keeping that club low to the ground for a while. And then nice acceleration through the ball. We really talked about first thing in the lesson was keeping your back knee flexed as you make your swing. I told you that we had to address that first because in terms of the order of operations of making this work as a long-term solution, if your right knee was always straightening, it was going to always throw off your balance slightly, and then we could never really get the club working as well as we'd like it to for the long term. So please pay attention to that right knee. The amount of bend you have in your setup position in that knee is great. You want to maintain that bend as you wind up. We call that winding up into our leg. Okay? We can't wind up into our leg if we straighten it. Okay? So that backswing is key to setting up a really good motion where we coil and wind up into our back leg. That's where the power is stored. And then we use that stored power to then accelerate through the ball. So keep the right knee bent in your swing, turn into your leg. That was number one. Number two was feel like we're sweeping or keeping the club low in the takeaway so you can slide up the shaft line better so we keep our club more on plane and hit better golf shots.